Hi students, today in this video we go for the new chapter, chapter number 9. The name of the chapter is The Great Stone Phase 1. It is part 1 of this story, and the part 2 we will see in the chapter number 10. So now we will read the story, and here is one introduction paragraph is given before you read. Seen from a distance, hilltops and huge rocks seem to assume various shapes. Sometimes the hilltops and huge rocks on the hillside assume means look like various shapes. They may resemble an animal or a human figure. They resemble means they represent the statue of animal or human figure. People attribute stories to these shapes. Some stories come true, others don't. People make stories from these shapes of stones, but some stories come true, some stories are true, but some are not. The great stone face is one such shape that reminds the inhabitants of the valley of a prophecy. What was it? Did it come true? Here, this story is such type of story, and it reminds the inhabitants means people of that village had a prophecy. Prophecy means a statement that tells what will happen in the future. What was it? What was the prophecy? And did it come true? Is Did it become true? So let's see in the story. And here is the story. One afternoon, when the sun was going down, a mother and her little boy sat at the door of their cottage, talking about the great stone face. They had only the lift to lift their eyes, and there it was, plain to be seen, though miles away, with the sunshine brightening all its features. So here this story began with a mother and her little boy who sat at the door of their cottage and talking each other, and they are looking at the great stone face, and they had only to lift their eyes, and they saw the, though it was miles away, but with the sunshine brightening all its features like a human face. So they saw the great stone face. And now we go for the next page. And what was the great stone face? What is it? The great stone face was a work of nature formed on the perpendicular side of a mountain by some immense rocks. It is created by nature, and it formed perpendicular side means rising very sleepy side of a mountain, and it is created by some immense means huge rocks which has been thrown together, so that when viewed at a proper distance they resemble the features of human face. When we see from the distance that rocks, then it looks like a human face. If the spectator approached too near, he lost the outline of the enormous face and could see only a heap of gigantic rocks. If spectators means if viewer see from the near, then we saw only the pile of rocks, not any human face, piled one upon another. So they became the pile of rocks. But seen from a distance, the clouds clustering about it, the great stone face seemed positively to be alive. But at distance, we can see that gathering clouds about it, and we see that it is like a human face. It was the belief of many people that the valley owed much of its fertility to the benign face that was continually beaming over it. Means the people of that valley believed that the blessings of that great stone face remained on that valley, and this is the cause, this is the reason of fertility of that valley. A mother and her little boy, as we said earlier, sat at the door of their cottage, gazing at the great stone face and talking about it. The child's name was Ernest. Here, the mother, and at starting of the story, we see that a mother and her boy sat at the door of their cottage, and they watching, gazing means they were watching at the great stone face and talking about it. And the child, the boy's name was Ernest. Mother sighed he, while mother sighed he. Mother sighed Ernest, while the great face smiled on him. I wish that it could speak, for it looks so very kindly that its voice must be indeed be pleasant. If I ever see a man with such a face, I should love him very much. Now, Ernest said to his mother that, Mom, it is very the great face, the great stone face. I wish that it could speak, and it is very kind. It looks very kind to me, and it is very be pleasant. If I ever see such type of face, then I should love him very much. So this is said by the little boy. If an old prophecy should come to pass, answered his mother, we may see a man sometime with exactly such a face as that. Prophecy means statement that tells the future. So his mother said that one prophecy was there, and that we may see such type of man sometime, and with exactly with such type of face. So let's hope that we will see the face, the great stone face. And now we go for the next page, next paragraph. What prophecy do you mean, dear mother? Eagerly inquired Ernest. Please tell me about it. Now Ernest uh, became curious and asked his mother that what was the prophecy. Please tell me the story. So his mother told him a story that her own mother had told her when she herself was younger than little Ernest, that at some future day a child should be born. Now his mother, Ernest's mother, told him a story, and that her mother uh, told her, and when she was very younger than Ernest, so that at some future day a child should be born. So here we have to go to the next page. Should be born near here, who was destined to become the greatest and noblest person of his time, and whose face in manhood should bear an exact resemblance of the great stone face. Now, his mother said that one man born here in this village, and he was the greatest and noblest person of his time, and whose face is like looked like this great stone face. Many still had faith in this old prophecy. Many people believed in this old statement, but others took it to be nothing but idle talk. But others not believed that it is not useless talking. At all events, the great man of the prophecy had not yet appeared. At all events, but now, till now, the prophecy had not come true, and the great man yet not appeared. Oh, mother, cried Ernest, clapping his hands above his head, I do hope that I shall live to see him. Now, Ernest became very excited and said that I hope that I shall see that man. His mother was an affectionate and thoughtful woman. His mother was very affectionate, means very kind and very thoughtful woman. It was proper, she thought, not to discourage the fanciful hopes of her little boy. So she said to him, perhaps you may. Now, Ernest's mother wanted to not to break the hopes of her little boy, so she said that perhaps it will come, and perhaps you may see that man. And now we go for the next paragraph. And Ernest never forgot the story that his mother told him. It was always in his mind whenever he looked upon the great stone face. He spent his childhood in the log cottage where he was born, was dutiful to his mother, and was helpful to her in many things, assisting her much with his little hands and more with his loving heart. In this manner, from a happy yet often pensive child, he grew up to be a mild and quiet youth. So here the introduction lines are of Ernest the boy, that he never forgot the story of that his mother told him, and he was very thoughtful and very helpful child. He helped his mother in many things, and he was very thoughtful. And now from a boy he grew up like a young man. And the next paragraph is, Ernest had no teacher, but the great stone face became one to him. Now the great stone face became teacher to Ernest, and when the work of the day was over, he would gaze at it for hours. When he became free, then he sat before that statue, before that great stone face, and gazing at for many many hours, until he began to imagine that those vast features recognized him and gave him a smile of kindness and encouragement. The great stone face encouraged him, and the great stone face looked very kind to him. So he became very pleasant and surprised and became very happy to see that great stone face. And now we will see the next paragraph. About this time there went a rumor throughout the valley that the great man who was to bear the resemblance of great stone face had appeared at last. It seems that many years before a young man had left the valley and settled at a distant seaport, Gathergold, which was his name, and had set up as a shopkeeper, and being sharp in business matters had become so very rich that it would have taken him 100 years only to count his wealth. In time he thought of his native valley and decided to go back there and end his days where he had been born. So due to this time, some one opinion went throughout the valley, means throughout the village, that the great man, the great stone face man, looked like that man had appeared at last. And it seems that many years before a young man named Gathergold lived here and had settled now outside of at the distant seaport, and he became very rich person, and now he wanted to came back to this valley, and he wanted to spend his days, his end of his life's days here when he had been born. So this rumor was spread through the valley. And now we go for the next page. And here is the next page. Ernest had been deeply stirred by the idea that the great man, the noble man, the man of prophecy, after so many ages of delay, was at length to be seen in his native valley. While the boy was still gazing up the valley one day and imagining that the great stone face returned his gaze, and noise of wheels was heard, and a crowd of people cried, "Here comes the great Mr. Gathergold." Now Ernest had an idea that the man, that noble man, that great stone face had come to my valley, and I will see him after so many time. So now when he heard the noise of wheels, and the car of that man came, and the crowd of people cried that here comes the great Mr. Gathergold, the rich person who came to the valley. A carriage drawn by 4 horses dashed round the turn of the road. Within it, thrust partly out of the window, appeared the face of an old man with yellow skin. A carriage means a horse cart drawn by 4 horses, and dashed means ran around the turn of the road, and within it thrust partly means pushed out partly of the window, appeared the face of an old man, the name Mr. Gathergold, with yellow skin. So this is the appearance of that man. The very image of the great stone face, shouted the people. Now people shouted that this is the face of that great stone face. Sure enough, the old prophecy is true. Here we have the great man at last. Now people believed that this is the great man, that great stone face man. So it is sure that this was the man, this is the man, and the prophecy, the future tale is come true. And what greatly puzzled Ernest, they seemed actually to believe that here was the likeness which they spoke of. He turned away sadly from the wrinkled shrewdness of that unpleasant face and gazed up the valley, where the stone face seemed to say, "He will come. Fear not, Ernest, the man will come." And what greatly puzzled Ernest. Now Ernest became very puzzled, confused. Actually, the people believed that this man was a great stone face, but Ernest knew that this was not that man, because the cleverness, he saw the cleverness of that unpleasant face, and now again he gazed up at the valley where the stone face seemed to say that he will come. Now Ernest felt that the stone man says that he will come. Fear not, Ernest, don't worry, the man will come. Now again Ernest had hope that great stone face will come, that man will come. So this is the first part of the story. I hope you understood. You have to read this part from the Honeydew textbook. Thank you.